emanating from deep under the earth, spreading across the globe at the speed of thought, changing the world one brain at a time. This is Last Call, the final order report from Green Brain Comics.
Howdy, Brainiacs. It's time for Last Call, your one-stop preview for next month's best comics and your last chance to pre-order before the print runs are locked and loaded. I am Dan Merritt, Chief Purchasing Officer here at Green Brain Comics, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on what's hitting our shelves starting Wednesday, August 12th, and a heads up to pre-order by this Sunday, July 19th at midnight. The Final Order Report and Green Brain Comics are proudly powered by Comichub. Check out Comichub online at comichub.com or grab the mobile app for Android and iPhone. Create an account or log into your existing one to order, pay securely, and make sure you never miss an issue. Today I'll be using Comichub to spotlight items from this week's Last Call for Confirmed Orders menu. But first, I'd like to go right into Books for Young Reader Comics. And this section is brought to you with a reminder to go to the 9th Annual Detroit Festival of Books this Sunday, July 19th at the Eastern Market. We'll be there from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. under the Green Brain canopies behind the rear exit of the Shed 5, I think it is. Check it out. Detroit Festival of Books will be there. And the first thing we're going to show you on Last Call for Young Readers today it's a facsimile edition of Laugh Comics from Archie. This features stories from Joe Edwards, Frank Doyle, and covers by Harry Lucy, Matt Talbot, Joe Edwards, and these are all available in some form or another, maybe in foil, yes. And this marks the 60th anniversary of the Beatles' final commercial concert at Candlewick Park. Happy birthday, Beatles. Also, for the younger readers, we got the TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures continues with number 40, featuring Mondo Gecko and Metalhead. Over at Dynamite, they put out the second issue of Aladdin, a beautiful new series featuring main covers from Nicoletta Baldari. Much love. And Dynamite also debuts a brand new series with all new stories by Gargoyles series creator Greg Weisman and rising star artist Gerardo Gambone. The stars of the sensational animated TV series return with all new in-continuity adventures. 1,000 years ago, superstition and the sword ruled. It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was the age of gargoyles. Debuting on August 12th with an A cover from Megan Hetrick. Drew Moss on the B. A C cover from Frank Poor. Sebastian Perez in this very cool gothic variant. It's all for Gargoyles. Number 1 drops on August 12th from Dynamite Entertainment. And that wraps up our spotlight on books for younger readers. Let's move on over into the small press. And this is brought to you in part by our pals over at the Senate Theater. There it is. This is brought to you in part by our pals over at the Senate Theater, who will be showing Alejandro Jodorowsky's acid western trip movie El Topo this Saturday, July 18th at the Senate Theater. SenateTheater.com for more information. Now let's move on over into the small press. First thing to show you is the second issue of the Sumerian Zuthal of the Dusk. Conan the Sumerian and his companion Natala sought respite within the mysterious city of Zuthal in the second issue with an A cover from Ito. Valhalla, number 2. Haven't seen number 1 yet. If you're interested, special order. Ooh, Cul-de-sac gets a anniversary director's cut of this modern comic art phenomenon, critical acclaim smash hit. Cul-de-sac, Jonathan Weishak cover. Also from Bad Idea, Olympus continues the saga of the megalith. The megalith, the Olympic saga, continues with number 3 of 4 from Matt Kent, Louis LaRosa. And Rob Venditti joins Jonathan Marks Bereshueva, Baravecchia, and David Lapham in Tankers vs. Ancient Aliens, number 3. We get a second printing of Cal Exit, Say Goodbye to Hollywood, number 1. We still got copies on the shelf. If you're interested in that or this second printing, get your orders in by this Sunday. Dynamite Entertainment also has a bunch of other comics on offer this FOC, including the second issue of Fire and Ice Dark Wolf with a Dan Panosian cover. Thundercats crossover with Silverhawks continues in this bone-thundering finale from Declan Shelvey and Drew Moss. Ignition Press releases the 3rd issue of Bad Thoughts from Andy Park, Dave Wachter. The 8th issue of Beauty with this beauty cover from Jeremy Hahn. Badlands, number 6. And the second issue of Minotaur. I thought the first issue was really cool. That just dropped off this last Wednesday. Written by Simon Spurrier, Mike Dowling on interiors and cover. We also get a B cover from James Stocco. I had to look at that because it's so cool and chomps my head. Rawr, rawr, rawr. Flash Gordon, number 19, Joe Quinones cover. Honor and Curse, Eternal, number 5 of 12. Might want to special order this one. As well as Planet Atmos Exordium. Oni Press drops off a new issue of EC Catacomb of Torment, number 14. Oliver Dominguez cover. We get a second issue of Supermondo Mega Mutts from Kurt Pyers and Juan Gideon. Living Corpse, The Hex Files, number 1 with an A cover from Ken Heiser. And a Neil Vokes variant. This is written by David Michelini with David Zuzzello. Yeah. Titan Publishing continues the Savage Sword of Conan Reforged with a 6th issue and a Tony Harris cover. Dead Acre number 2 from Cullen Bunn, Riley Brown. Also from Vault, we get new printings of Excommunicated number 1 and number 2. Cool covers, eyeballs. Let's see, Amp Comics for Kids has a Kill Switch number 4. And from Massive Entertainment, Whatnot Publishing, we get a new Quested 3-issue miniseries. Quested returns with an action-packed 3-part season featuring everyone's favorite pawn shop crew. Jinx and Hamo must escape the mirror universe to reunite with Lithia and Spay as creatures from the underworld terrorize their city. From writer Michael Calero, artist Kit Willis with an A cover from Ludo Lullaby. We got a B cover from Kit Wallace, who does interiors. And a Trevor Richardson video game homage variant, all for Quested number 1. Let's move on up to the mid-size press. Over at Dark Horse Comics, we get a 3rd issue of this body horror epic. Did you hear about Mimi Green number 3, Josh Cornelon? Grendel, Devil's Crucible, Sedition, number 2. Matt Wagner cover. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, The Sword of Flaws, number 6. And Kingdom of the Earth, number 2, with a very cool Sue Lee cover. The first issue was fun, from David Dastmalchian. The Ring, The Man Who Beat the Man, number 3, from Gail Simone. Yolanda Zaffardino cover. IDW continues Operation Iron Coffin with a number 2 from Kenny Porter and Terrell Cannon. Star Trek Starfleet Academy Lost Contact. That series is the conclusion of the cadets' adventure on CK Genesis. The Rocketeer Infiltrator, that new series from Gabriel Hardman and Dean Kotz, continues on August 26th. As does Valiant Beyond Tales of the Shadow Man, number 8, Legacy of Leroy. Ooh, and we get a third issue of Zorro with a Jorge Fornes cover. IDW puts out a new facsimile edition of the classic TMNT number 1. Experience the revolution from the very beginning with the regular cover at $6.99 and a special foil cover for $12.99. Drops on August 26th. Boom Studios drops Hello Darkness number 24. Hellraiser Facsimile Edition number 1 with iconic Tim Bradstreet cover. We get a third issue of the ongoing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series with Kimmy on the cover. And headlining the small press selection on Last Call this week, it's the 50th anniversary of Something is Killing the Children. Witness the return of Erica Slaughter in this momentous milestone issue from the best-selling horror phenomenon. Jump back into present-day storyline of Erica Slaughter after the horrifying events of the Tribulation Saga. Erica, completely distraught from her encounter with Cutter and the death of Gabby, is on the run from the Order. In her escape, she returns she returns to the formative place of her past, on her path, the Valmont Mountain Lodge. But beyond memories of her past, what and who will Erica find there now awaiting her? Something is Killing the Children, number 50, drops on October 7th. A little bit of a forecast here. 48 pages at a $6.99 cover price. We got an A cover from interior artist Werther Daldera. A Jenny Frison cover, sure to get a lot of special orders. We got this one from J. Scott Campbell. And an unlimited variant featuring the black and white work of Werther Daldera. It's Something is Killing the Children, number 50, October 7th. All right, that does it for the small press. Let's move on up to Image Comics. This week, Image Comics is brought to you by the upcoming Brain Candy number 80. That's this Monday, July 20th at 7 p.m., featuring the music of Jake MacArthur, the poetry of Edie Roberts, the prose of Amy Probst, and the visual art of Marissa Rubea, and hosted by our celebrity panel of committee members from the Daniel E. Wickett Legacy Committee. It's Brain Candy number 80, Monday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Free for all. All right, now the first thing on FOC from Image Comics this week is Blood and Thunder, number 16, August 12th. Die Loaded, number 8, August 12th. These will all be August 12th. Dork, number 7. It's not Swamp Thing. Exquisite Corpses, Rascal Randy, number 2 of 5. Hey, look, we get a second printing, blowing the surprise from the very surprise-worthy reveal cameo of the last issue of this, the last page of this issue, reprinting what is now spreading like wildfire. The Word, G.I. Joe and the Real American Hero, is joined by Lara Croft, Tomb Raider in the second print. And then we get the next regular issue, number 331, all on August 12th. Of the Earth continues. This has been a brutal series. Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger Spawn. Cool cover from Patrick Reynolds. Spawn Scorched, number 53. And the second issue of Starhenge, Book 2, A Kiss for Atticus. Transformers continues with number 35 and this David Nakayama cover. And the second of these 2-issue miniseries featuring the 4th part of the Unbelievables crossover storyline, The $1 Trillion Kid. Witchblade number 24, end of the story arc. And then we get onto the debuts from Image Comics this week. A Doomed March Through Transylvania. A farmhand lives a simple life until village elders insist he sets out for the capital with a dangerous stranger. Their mission? Kill the murderous viceroy of Transylvania. It's Dracula meets Berserk in this dark fantasy series full of sexy entities and betrayal. This series is written by Patrick Kindlon, who's making quite a name for himself recently. And he's joined by artist Ludovic Laliot, who did this A cover. We got a B cover from Atom Cyber. It's Regicide, number 1, drops on August 12th. And in other dynamic releases, we get a miniseries premiere of Yumi X. Yumi is in love. Yumi is lethal. When her MI6 boyfriend disappears, Yumi storms the agency, hacking their network, dismantling their operatives, and setting everything on fire. There, she finds her first ally, a fully AI Lamborghini that's built less like a car and more like a WMD. The anti-spy thriller begins here from the writer of Narco, Plastic, and I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer, Doug Wagner, who is joined by Hoyt Silva, who did this A cover, XXO. We got a B cover from Nicoletta Baldari. That's a surprisingly muted color scheme for Nicoletta Baldari. I am interested in that. We got a C cover from Mirka and Dolfo. All for Yumi X, number 1 of 4, drops on August 12th. Doug Wagner. All right, folks. Headlining Images FOC list is the 25th anniversary, 25th issue of G.I. Joe. It had to happen. G.I. Joe versus Night Force. Everything has been leading to this extra size landmark issue as Joe battles Joe, friends become enemies, and the chart-topping team of Joshua Williamson and Tom Riley kick off the biggest G.I. Joe story in Energon history universe history. G.I. Joe number 25 features a plethora of amazing creators and covers, including this wraparound cover from interior artist Tom Riley, Jerome Opeña, pretty cool, Mika Okazaki. We get a wraparound foil variant of the A cover, a die-cut mask variant, all for G.I. Joe number 25. Happy anniversary, new story arc, August 19th. Okay, that does it for Image Comics this week. Let's move right on over into Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics is brought to you this week by BRAINSCAN. Our live stream preview of New Comic Book Day debuts every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. right here on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. That's it. All right, moving on to Marvel Comics. First up in Marvel is Outside Universe in the 20th Century Studios. It's Alien Kingkiller number 5 from Saladin Ahmed and Carlos Nieto on interiors. A Puppeteer Lee variant here. So cool. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Echoes of the Empire number 5. Back on over into the Marvel Universe proper, we have the Avengers Armageddon continuing with number 3 and this well-promoted image from Dike Ruan. Captain Marvel Dark Past continues with number 5. Cool cover, Lucas Vernac. Daredevil 5. Good screaming cover from Lee Garbett. And for some reason, we also get a number 6 on FOC this week. Chips a few weeks later, but here it is, FOC. Stephanie Phillips is writing this issue with guest art from Flaviano. Punisher versus Spider-Man continues with a second issue with this Rod Rice cover. Queen in Black, number 3. Heck, we haven't even gotten a number 1 yet. Cool cover from Ryan Stegman. And Defenders of Light and Dark, spinning out of Queen in Black. Peach Momoko cover. And the Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day miniseries continues from Dan Slott, Marcos Toe, Phil Jimenez cover. And the Ultimate Impact Reborn, number 4, August 19th. Moving into the X-Men titles, we've got number 3 of Bishop, August 19th. Inglorious X-Force, number 8. Uncanny X-Men, number 34. Cool cover from interior artist Luciano Vecchio. And headlining Marvel Comics on FOC this weekend is a new What If one-shot. This is What If the Runaways Hadn't Run Away? This is written by occasional Rainbow Rowell writer... Occasional Runaways writer Rainbow Rowell, with interior art by Zulima Lavina. And an A cover from Lucas Vernac. Got a Betsy Cola homage variant. Pretty sharp. I like that. A Joe Quinones variant. Cool. all for What If Runaways Hadn't Run Away, August 19th from Marvel Comics. That does it for Marvel Comics on FOC this week. And headlining this week from DC Comics, we've got a whole host of awesome new things. And that reminds me to thank our pals over at Klezmageddon for our fantastic theme song. Thanks, Klezmageddon. Marvel Comics on DC Comics on FOC this week include from the Vertigo imprint Bleeding Hearts #7 Stepan Morian cover. Nice House by the Sea with their penultimate 11th of 12 issues. And from the DC Universe proper, the Absolute line, Absolute Batman #23. Cool cover from Nick Dragotta, who does interiors on this issue. Trust me, there's a whole bunch of swell covers. You'll want to head on over to Comic Hub to check those out. But for the sake of time, let's move on over to the next Absolute title. Absolute Catwoman #3 Bengal cover. You know there's beautiful covers on this one. Also, we get the next issue of Emperor Aquaman Kaiju Battle Royale. I've been super enjoying this run from Jeremy Adams and John Timms. Barbara Gordon Breakout #4 Carl Kerschel cover. Clayface Celebrity Dirt. This just debuted with a #1 this last week. And #2's on FOC with this Dan Mora cover. The Fury of Firestorm. We're just past halfway through with this miniseries with a cover by Rafael de la Torre. I couldn't pass up this cover. Check out this beauty from Toru Terada. Purdy. All right. Green Lantern Corps #19, The Corps Against the Manhunters. Another fun series from artist Juan Jose Reef on interiors. I'll read that. Ooh, look, we get a limited collector's edition facsimile of #25, classic Neil Adams cover. This is that treasury size reprint at $14.99. There will be a foil version for a couple $3 more. We also get a facsimile of Adventure Comics, the first appearance of the Legion of Superheroes, in advance of the Legion of Superheroes debuting from the DC Universe very soon. I'm very excited about that. And you can get a copy of where it all started with this iconic cover by Kurt Swan. Now, headlining DC on FOC this week is Supergirl #16. And this is important because it is the part 1 of a weekly crossover with all of the Superman titles entitled Kingdom of Zod. Supergirl rallies the Superforce. The kryptonite kingdom of El Caldero has been taken over by General Zod. Supergirl gathers her own Superforce to infiltrate the kingdom. Superboy Prime, Connor Kent, Tomorrow Man, Lois Lane, Steel, Lana Lang, Natasha Irons, Princess Shark, and more of Supergirl's wild cast. But before they can remove Zod from power, he unleashes a dangerous new force. What is the K-Zone? From writer Sophie Campbell and interior artist Joe Quinones. We get some interiors from Joe Quinones and an A cover, a connecting cover to the rest of the Kingdom of Zod. I think this is like 7 parts. Yes. Connecting cover from Guillaume Marsh. We got a Nubovich cardstock variant. Very pretty. Stephanie Hans, eye-catching. Mark Spears in the trading card format. All for the first part of Kingdom of Zod in Supergirl #16. Drops on August 12th from DC Comics. Look, we also get the part 2 on FOC this week, and also debuting on August 12th. Part 2 picks up in Action Comics 1101. We already gave you the pitch, but I will tell you this is brought to you by writer Mark Waid with interior art by Montos, an A cover from Guillaume Marsh. Ariel Olivetti on the first of cardstock variants. Michael Choi, look at that beauty. Very cool. Kingdom of Zod foil variant by Mark Spears. All for Action Comics 1101 Kingdom of Zod Part 2. And now, headlining FOC and Last Call this week is the debut of the sequel. This week is the final chance to order the debut of the sequel to Batman and Robin Year One. This is Batman and Robin Year One Dynamic Duos. This is a 12-issue miniseries reuniting Mark Waid and Chris Samney to their fan favorite series exploring Batman and Robin's early years. Batman and Robin are back in action. The Dark Knight and the Boy Wonder have been hard at work cleaning up the streets of Gotham City, and their partnership has only gotten tighter. But when a gang of street kids starts causing mischief, Batman and Robin will need to get to the bottom of where these kids came from and who is in charge. Mark Waid and Chris Samney return to Gotham to tell another tale of the early days of the dynamic duo. This debut issue also features cardstock variants by Mark Silvestri. Look at that. Very nice. Dustin Wen. Ooh, that's pretty. Hayden Sherman. All you absolute Wonder Woman fans. All variants for Batman and Robin Year One Dynamic Duos, number 1 of 12, debuting on August 12th from DC Comics. You can get your orders in for any of these variants and ensure their presence waiting for you on New Comic Book Day, August 12th. All right, and that does it for Final Order this week. Yes, I'd like to thank Klezmageddon for our opening and closing music. All these comics are on Last Call this weekend. You've got until Sunday at midnight, July 19th, to lock in your pre-orders for these and many, many more. Make sure to send and confirm those items in your Comic Hub cart before the deadline. Thanks for tuning in to Last Call, the Final Order Report. Stay up to date on all of our happenings. We are Green Brain Comics on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. All the links you need for our shopping cart, website, and Comic Hub are all right below in the description. We are spreading the love of comics and graphic novels from the heart of East Downtown Dearborn since 1985. Feed your brain at Green Brain Comics. See you around soon, folks.
Emanating from deep under the earth. Spreading across the globe at the speed of thought. Changing the world, one brain at a time. This is Last Call, the Final Order Report. From Green Brain Comics.